Okay. We are live. And this time, hopefully, the internet gremlins stay away. Just a quick, before I start today, I've been, I don't know where I'm going with it. Anyways, I didn't have my energy thing before because I thought I was awake enough to do this. Obviously not. But just wanted to make a quick mention, bring attention to, I don't have much of a public platform, but, and most of the time it's just me talking to a wall. But just in case this gets out into the world somehow, I educated myself a little bit today, learned some new things, and I kind of just wanted to, before I start, bring a little bit of attention to Black Lives Matter movement and how important it is for our society right now. Today was the 57-year anniversary of the March on Washington, and there was another March on Washington today, 57 years later. So, everyone, as a collective society in the United States, I think we need to come together and listen and be kind to one another and change things for the better. That being said, let's get back into the career mode. Hopefully, I'll be able to actually upload this, because yesterday's got broken into a couple pieces. I couldn't stitch them together. That's why there was no upload for yesterday's date. I also took them off of the Twitch channel because I didn't want, three or four separate broadcasts just being out there. Even when some of them were like 4 minutes, some of them were 17 minutes, just until it crashed. But yeah, headed to one of my favorite tracks, Dover. Honestly, not super positive on whether I'm actually fast at this track or not. I think that's kind of up in the air. I can hold my own. But I just think it's just a super fun track. I think Dover would be one of the tracks that I would love to get on in real life. I think that would be super cool. One can dream. Don't worry, I won't have to do these setups every time. Once I put all these setups in, then they will be good to go. But it does change per series, so once I get to a different series, then I'll have to do it again. But get back into it.
Clear the pit, hammer down. Car outside.
You didn't go by me that fast, really. Dover is super fun because of the high banks. These high banks really plant the car into the track. You can carry insane amounts of speed. You can get off of the throttle super late into the corner. The one difficult part about Dover is it runs super loose as well, especially coming off of the corner. The scariest part of Dover is coming off of the corner because that outside wall comes at you quick. See, I kind of got lazy and I stepped there, and I almost lost the truck completely. That was kind of a weird step. I kind of want to recreate it and see what happened. Because if that was because of my track bar, I've already got the car set up a little bit loose. I guess just to kind of get back into the thick of things, I'm going to run until my right front runs down to 90%. I don't know how many laps that took. I'm kind of running on the edge of, I think this is the point where I would need to be good at air pressure adjustments. Because I'm kind of on the edge of, I have really great turn ability, but I feel like I'm right on the edge of being too loose. Which, for me, the easiest adjustment there would to go back up on the track bar. But it's I'm in between two such big leaps on the track bar adjustment that it would absolutely snap the car back to tight. So, air pressure adjustment, being smart at air pressure would probably help. So that was 5 laps to get to 90%. I think that tire wear doesn't become super evident until about 86% tire wear. I wasn't even paying attention to lap times. So hopefully I was running good enough lap times to lock up a pole.
Make it count here.
I'm really glad I'm starting off with Dover. Really looking for a positive experience out of today compared to yesterday.
Let's see where that puts you.
Big lap. Okay, with that big of a gap, normally I would tighten up the truck just to be safe. Not doing that.
All right, now be smart out there. Going green. Are you ready here?
I'm gonna let it fly because I'm tired of playing conservative on this. Time to start letting it eat. 8 laps. So 5 laps when we get down to the 90% mark. I think we're gonna fight an extra loose condition for maybe the last 2 laps. I don't know if I'm just a crazy person, but it always feels like you can run the same setup in 3 different sessions, practice, qualifying, and the race. And all 3 sessions can be at the same time, even though this time they weren't. Qualifying was later in the day. But practice and the race are set at the same weather conditions. I feel like all 3 sessions are just different. Your setup is going to handle different in all of the sessions. I don't know why. It just happens. Obviously, you know, practice and qualifying, you only run a few laps. If you're like me, you just run a couple of practice laps. Get a qualifying lap. Obviously, your car is going to perform differently in the race because you're running extended laps, but even right off the jump, I feel like the cars are different. I think we're about to hit lap 5 with 93% tire. Yeah. Okay, so we're on cue for tire wear. Kind of driving all over the place. Not exactly exhibiting expert driving, even though it looks like I have, based on my time split. Okay, 3 laps. We should start noticing I think the only reason I performed poorly in that corner was simply because I caught the inside banking.
Ready to go, driver.
I really wish there was an overlay for this game, just natively, so that you could see all of my inputs, just like Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo in that little dash cluster, you can see all of my inputs. But
You got 1 to go.
if the game audio is up loud enough, I guess you can hear my throttle, but you can't. You can hear throttle. But I guess throttle really sounds the same in anywhere between 20 and 100%.
That's the win. Nice job.
So 101. I think Richmond was the track that I missed a win at. And my truck is not going to get better. When you own a team, you're going to get better throughout the season. But when you're on somebody else's team, you're stuck with what you got. Your only hope of getting any better is to get that momentum boost, and you get that. It's usually pretty easy to get that within the first 4 races. Okay. Let's see. Short track is next. Okay, next week is when we're going to have to start hitting departments for upgrades. I still don't see any back-to-back long tracks, so I'm going to stick with this for right now. The only reason I'm trying to just upgrade insanely would be for trophies, and everything is cheapest in the Dirt Series. So, and the Truck Series is somewhat easier than the other series. So if I end up owning a truck team next year, and I have a slow start because I've invested a ton in the dirt track team, then it won't be as big of a deal, especially since I racked up a couple of wins this season early on. All right. I have been listening back on the VODs just to get an idea for audio. It seems like the microphone in my headset is good enough that it that it's able to kind of level audio before I even get a hold of it. So, like, I can talk normal and it comes through clear, but if I, I forget, because I usually forget, that the headset's right next to my mouth, so I'll get a little loud, but it seems that when I tend to get loud with my voice, the headset will just level that audio off on its own. So it still comes through clear and it doesn't really clip the audio too bad. So thank goodness for a good headset. Now when I go to Saturday's stream, probably going to be through probably a mid-range. It's a USB mic, so it's probably the higher range of a USB mic, but it's still a USB mic. We'll see how that goes. I think I'm going to have to end up pulling up my own stream multiple times during that, just to see how everything goes. As you can see, I still have no idea what I'm doing at Eldora. I think I'm bottoming out somewhere. I feel like I'm dragging the splitter, and that's really killing me on my rotation, because I feel like I really got to get down in speed in order to get the car to rotate, which I can carry way more speed than that through the corner. So my overall strategy to mitigate that problem is to really kind of cut the rounded corner and try and turn it into a straightaway. So I run way up on the outside wall and I turn into the corner at the last second and try and cut that corner off as straight as I can. I didn't see how big the gap was from pole to second, so
almost ready now.
But we grab pole usually in the dirt series, so we can run away if as long as we have pole.
You got room, you're clear. Got one down low now. Clear low, bud.
As long as we decide to not undercut me, it's the only thing that can really affect my lap time. I will say one really good thing about this game is that going in between
Way to go, driver.
the dirt racing series to any of the asphalt series, anything in the NASCAR series, it's actually a pretty easy transition.
You got one to go.
You would think that going from, Dover, where you really got to hold a good wheel, kind of anticipate where the truck's going to go, kind of white knuckle driving, to this really loose, pitch it in and let it fly type of driving. It doesn't really go together, but somehow it works out. And it's entertaining. We are looking good for the rest of the dirt series. I mean, the truck series is kind of up in the air. I think I've been performing pretty well, but we'll see how it goes down the road. I also think that, hold on, I'm getting rough with my headset here. Also, I think today I'm going to go a little bit longer. I'm pretty positive I can at least get to the playoffs. I think we'll get to the first playoff cut. Well, I think we'll get to playoffs tonight at least, and then I'll kind of make a game time decision. Kind of make a game time decision once we get to playoffs. I forget when the Truck Series playoffs start. I think it's 8 races left. So I'd like to go a little bit longer than yesterday. Yesterday I kind of cut it off short. Even though technically I was only scheduled for 2 hours. I cut it off right at 2 hours. Just due to tech issues. It was really pretty deflating yesterday, but so far so good. Everything's going well so far. I think also I'm going to start breaking the week down into specific days. You know, NASCAR is going to have its specific days. Gran Turismo will also have specific days. That way I'm not just, face down dragging through a full NASCAR career just every day, because I feel like that'll wear me down, and it'll just not be entertaining anymore. Plus, that's not what I normally do anyway. Just casually, I'll jump around on what games that I play. This is sharp. If you remember from, I believe it was season 1, where I raced at Pocono, and I mentioned that Turn 1 at Pocono is almost just a giant version of Turn 3 and 4 at Charlotte. Here's the showcase. Because Turn 3 and 4 at Charlotte's pretty crazy. You can run clear into the corner before you start lifting, and right there is when the corner starts to tighten up. So if you're not down on corner speed by the time you get there, your car is just going to shoot out towards the wall. My angle of attack was already bad going into that corner, so it kind of just looked like I held middle line and then screwed up the apex coming out, which I did. See how there in the middle of the corner, the truck kind of drifted out towards the wall? And that was before I even got to the throttle. Once it drifted out towards the wall and it kind of evened out, that's when I jumped back onto the throttle. Charlotte's pretty fun because you can run pretty bullheaded into these corners. Those are usually my favorite tracks, where you can really get into the corner before you need to lift. And that's your indicator to get back on the throttle at Charlotte. It's the middle of 3 and 4. Feels like as soon as you get to the middle of the corner tightens up, and then once the truck stabilizes out, right after that quick little hit in the middle of 3 and 4, you can jump back in and let it fly. Off. There it hit. Jump back in. A lot of the oval track racing stuff is rhythm. Rhythm and feel. You have your base rhythm for a track. You want to get your base rhythm down.
Let's go.
For whatever track you're at. That's what practice is for. And then based on that rhythm that you got, depending on, there's other things that can change. So you might have a bad angle of attack. The car might get loose or tight in the middle of the corner. Jumping back on the throttle might be a little different. That's all feeling. So you have your bass rhythm, and then based on what you feel, it's different from that bass rhythm, you adjust. I feel like I'm off of my rhythm right now because I was off the throttle a little much, but I feel like I slowed down a little too much for 1 and 2, but I kept it pinned on that painted line. Super awesome through 3 and 4.
Alright, we're going to see when that puts us on the starting grid.
Still ripped a good lap. Yeah, we got a good gap on the field. We should be fine. No reason to
We're going green.
push the truck
Be ready.
any farther than where it's at. I feel like it's driving comfortably. Also, I'm not sure. 5 laps. Tire wear shouldn't be a big issue. But if it comes into play, I think I got a very stable truck under me, so should not have any issues with tire wear. Ran it deep on that corner. See how I jumped an entire lane? That's not for me, like changing my steering angle. That's just, the corner does that. The corner just tightens up. I've never really looked at an aerial view of Charlotte Motor Speedway. But I feel like it would almost, by driving it, it feels almost like a Darlington. Where 3 and 4 are, just a tighter corner than 1 and 2. Also, a good thing that they didn't program into this game is that painted line. That painted line is up on the banking. So in real life, if you ran down on that painted line, that's going to be bad. Tightens up, I'm telling you. In real life, that painted line being on the banking, you could run down onto that painted line and totally change the balance of your car. I would think since it's painted, it's going to loosen up the grip on those inside tires, and it's going to help the car rotate a little more. But if you're fighting a loose condition, that's going to be a nightmare fuel. But that is a program in this game, so I'm going to worry about it. Otherwise, I would be doing my best to just ride that painted line as much as I could. It would give me that little extra rotation. But I'm also probably not good enough a driver to be stuck on that painted line. I'd probably bounce it off of the apron like I did in that last corner.
Driver, way to earn that checker flag.
All right, we got a big swing in momentum. First few races, we are in it. Knock on wood. Keep the tech gremlins away today. So far, we are off to a great start. Still just creeping on that fan total. That fan total is really just an extra payout at the end of each race. I don't know, there's some equation that it does at the end. Oh, we got a hot seat. Top 20. Also at Charlotte. Good thing we just raced Charlotte. We got the rhythm down. Yeah, that fan number, it runs some equation at the end to like figure out, based on how many fans you have, is how much payout you get in merchandise. So that number's really not going to show anything substantial until probably maybe middle of the second season in the Xfinity series. Maybe towards the end of the first Xfinity series. Another great thing about these hot seats is that I can get my tune down now, so that way when I get into the Xfinity series, that tune will already be there, and I won't have to mess with it. It might be a little loose, but loose is fast.
Clear the pit, hammer down.
Kind of just wanted to run out on the track, but that guy didn't get to me quick enough. I don't know why I show any sportsmanship to AI, especially in a practice mode, but I guess it's good to practice for whenever I jump into actual races where sportsmanship is needed. Oh, you can run really deep in the Xfinity series into these corners. I say that and I screw the whole corner up. You can run really deep. I figured if once the cars got faster, you wouldn't be able to run as deep, but you can actually get in deeper in the corners with the faster cars. Still need to figure out 1 and 2. Technically still need to figure out both corners, but I feel like I'm pretty close to the pace for them as is. Lap times certainly say otherwise. I'd say this is another point where air pressure adjustments would do me better, because I feel like the car is rotating well, and the turning is responsive, but the car just doesn't want to stick to the bottom, regardless of whether I bounce off of the apron or not like that. I think I need to get better runs off of the corner and maybe straighten out quicker. Yeah, see, we've got the racing line down. See if the lap time comes with it. The other thing is that that racing line is turning red, which indicates that you need to have a brake. I am not using any brake. Lap times did not reflect, so I'm going to try driving deeper in the corner and see what happens. See where tires are at. 75 right now, so we're also getting tire data since I'm going so deep into this practice session. this might be the way to do it. Or not. That was actually slower. I was trying to run deeper in the corner before I let out. 70%. Dice it up here a little bit because I feel like we are going to need capable to run with other cars.
Careful, go back.
It's not going to be a good lap time because of my racing line,
You
but
got room to clear that.
now I know there's two different rhythms you can run. Yeah, 62% tires after I'm not sure how many laps. That was a very slow lap. After 8 laps. So yeah, I figured out there's two rhythms once you get into that faster car. The first rhythm is to let off early, like I was at the beginning. Let off early and then get down to about 160 in mile an hour and then carry that longer through the corner. Or you could drive it deep into the corner, let off the gas late, let it run down to about like 155 instead of 160, and then jump back into the throttle there. But it's kind of a give and take. If you're letting off early, your corner entry is not going to be as hard, but you're going to carry more through the mid and out of the corner. But more my style is to run real deep into the corner, let the car run down, and then just kind of figure it out coming out. I prefer to run really deep into the corners. Don't know why. I've always enjoyed running deep in the corners. It makes me feel like I got the setup right. That time I had a little more confidence in the car, and I actually ended up running in deep and jumping back on the throttle at 160, and the lap time showed it. Lap times got much better. But lap times don't matter when you have cars around you. I think we have a very stable setup to run with cars around you.
Are you ready now?
See how many positions we can pick up, though.
Hammer down, green's out.
If I just stick where I'm at, I technically complete the contract because I need a top 20. But remember from yesterday, I stole a win at Bristol because Bristol. Oh no! Don't wreck that guy. No, we can't do that. That's not allowed.
You're coming to the green. Are you ready here?
Anyway. I have an insane amount of practice time at Bristol, so you could put me in a go-kart and I'd probably figure out a way to be competitive at Bristol.
Still there?
But we stole a win there, so now we kind of have to prove that we belong here. And the car was not as good as this one. This is a better car.
All right, you're clear. Car outside, hold the line. Got room, you're clear. Still there, inside.
Yep, this is poor driving so far.
Inside.
That was very poor driving into that, into the 3 and 4. I'm going to draft pull down the back straightaways.
Still there. Clear eye, bud. Keep it steady, driver. 3 wide.
I need to not be down on the inside when I go into 3 and 4 obviously is very upsetting.
Car high,
My car.
you got room, you're clear. You're all clear up top.
Remember when I said we had a stable setup?
Stay high, stay high. Car there on the inside.
So it looks like we're pushing tight for the race. Which is
Left we go. Hold your line, stay high. Got a car coming inside now.
I think I would be very satisfied with a top 10. Because the top 10 seems like a lot of hard work right now. I did not hit him that hard.
Got one peeking outside. All right, you're clear there. Hold your line, got one inside. All right, you're clear.
Yeah, the car pushed tight for the race, so this
Looking
is...
inside now.
I'm just bleeding spots right now. That's another problem with being able to run hard into the corners. Usually that's my best advantage, is being able to run hard into the corners and then pick up the draft when I get to the straightaways. That usually keeps me competitive with faster cars. But
Careful, still there.
when you run harder than the competition into the corners,
Outside,
you have to
outside.
kind of anticipate where you want to pass them before you get there. Because
Inside. Hold your line, got one outside.
you're going to run up right on top of them,
Stay calm.
like I did when I gave
Got one outside.
LeBay a shot in the back.
Car there on the
You're going to run up quick on him.
Inside.
You're going to either have to pick a lane that you're going to go around him. See, I'm losing the draft in the straightaway. That's why I'm losing these people.
On the outside.
The car on the outside cannot power around me.
All right, you're clear.
Now we kind of have free reign, but it's a little kind of too little too late. So at this point, it's probably going to be a defensive game for me in this last lap. I think if I would have gotten around that car, maybe completed the lap where I completed the pass when I got next to him. No. 3 and 4 was bad. We just had no momentum down the foot stretch, so. We'll take 11th. Tight race cars are hard to drive. Loose race cars are also hard to drive, but they're fast. So really, they're just hard to drive around people. Tight race cars are not fast, and they're hard to drive around people. Not sure why the car swung so tight for the race. But we completed the contract, so much as I wanted a top 10. Kansas Speedway. So I don't think they ever really reformatted Kansas Speedway. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. I could just be totally talking out of my ears, but I don't think they ever really reformatted Kansas Speedway, but for some reason with these games, in the past 3 or 4 years, Kansas Speedway totally feels different. And I want to say it's because the actual Kansas Speedway was reformatted. Before, Kansas Speedway felt more like, I don't know, more like a Kentucky, except bigger, where you almost had to get onto the brakes into the corners, and it was really a struggle to hold the car into the corner. Now it feels more like a mini Michigan. You got a lot of corner speed, but it still kind of holds up that character of the original format, because if you don't carry a lot of that speed through the corner, it's a long corner, and it's a long, flat corner. So if you're not carrying that speed, you're really going to get chewed up. But the speed overall has certainly increased. With the change. It certainly has more of a Michigan feel in the corners, where you're carrying a lot of speed, don't really have to slow down a lot. You can really feel what your setup is doing. Shorter tracks like Dover and Bristol, you're in the corner for such a small amount of time that you don't really get to feel what your setup is doing. It's just whether you're fast and comfortable. It's kind of hard to point out what the car is doing unless you're just pushing through the corner really hard. Big sweeping corners like this, like Michigan, you can really, like Homestead as well, you can really feel whether you have a good setup or not. I like the setup I have so far. But that has me a bit cautious because we ran tight. If I set up comfortable, I tend to run tight when it comes race day. Another thing about Kansas Speedway, choose tires. We lost 2 to 3% on the right front through that one corner. So we're down to 82% after whatever lap that was. After lap 3. So 3 laps, we're down to 82%.
All right, driver D.
I have to reset the headset on this a lot because I look off the corners in this game, and that really upsets the headset. The headset doesn't know how to track my head. So I have to kind of compensate right a little bit. Off into 1 and 2, trying to make up for that. I think the exit of the corner kind of suffered for it. Just run a neutral 3 and 4. Felt like a very good corner until I clipped the banking there.
All right, that's our run. Back to down.
Good lap. Good lap. We are solid. I'm also bad with setups, so I'm kind of stupid when it comes to day-night change. We ran practice and qualifying during the day, and now race days at night. So I'm not really sure how that's going to affect the car. sometimes it really doesn't. Xfinity Series car ran really tight, but that was only because it got into, but I think it was from being in traffic. Practice qualifying and race day were all day races, daytime starts. I think one of them might have been at dusk, but it wasn't the race, so practice and qualifying both felt pretty much the same. Up. This and Vegas are two tracks where you really want to know what your wear is at. But luckily, here, I've really eaten out a big gap, a really big interval to second place. So, if tires were a true concern, right now is where I would really back out of the throttle in the corners. You'd really be purposefully run slow corners. Because there's a lot of interval that you can chew up. But the right front is what wears out the most. And running in deep in the corner, like I like to do, like that, is what really chews up that right front. We are on lap 4 of 7 with 90% tire left, so I'm just going to keep letting it fly. I'm just going to put that tire wear meter away because it's a distraction at this point. And we are just going to check it out. The spotter is useless in this game so far. Spotter volume's all the way up, and I've changed it from Gordon to TJ Majors. And I figured that was the reason why the volume was so low, but it's just volume's so low.
All right, let's go. White flag.
On the spotter compared to all the other sounds that are going on, it's just. You might be able to pick out the important words from your spotter, but you won't be able to hear them completely. Really, the only time your spotter is really important in this game is the super speedways, and I'm just a savage idiot on the super speedways anyway, so. Spotter could tell me where everybody's at, and I'm still going to run into them probably. Cool, we are chugging along. Also, I feel like it's been long enough because I feel like I haven't mentioned this since my first stream. You do not need an account to just show up and watch. You can do that anytime, however you want. Any device with internet. You just find my Twitch URL, twitch.tv/Black68Camaro, all one word. You just go to that URL and you can watch no matter what. You don't need an account, none of that. if you want to jump into the chat, that requires you have a Twitch account, which is a super quick and easy setup. I know it's really easy to do on the app. Another thing, if you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. All you have to do is tell Twitch that you have an Amazon Prime account. They'll just say, cool, you have Twitch Prime now, which is what I did. So, and that will also get you into chat. You get special badges. If you play specific games, you can get boosts in different games for having a Twitch Prime account. My favorite example of that was Doom Eternal. If you had a Twitch Prime account and you linked it between Doom and Twitch Prime, you got the special unicorn skin for Doomslayer, and that was super cool. So yeah. Alright, now we have gotten to the point where we can surpass the maximums of each department, and we got the trophy. Which is what I was going for. I think I'll save up a little bit more money before, because I think I can technically run this out to the end of the season. This set, technically, I didn't even need to do the maxed out departments. But I can run this setup out to the end of the season. That way I can use some of my truck funds to bump me up, and then I can get the trophies for having 6 cars in the stable and having the max amount of employees. But since it's a trophy to max out all your departments, we get that extra little boost. So if we were able to check out on everybody on 90% cars, now we have 100% cars. So I shouldn't even struggle at the road course now, because the road course was really my only struggle last season. And I think with the car that I have now, despite me being a bad driver, I think a 100% car will overcome my bad driving. Charlotte's one of the dirt tracks that I really like. Because it's got those kind of corners where you just kind of pitch it in and let it fly. The kind of track where the game gets upset at you for carrying too much speed. See, the racing line is all the way red. They think I should not be carrying that much speed. But I'm able to pitch the car so crazy that I can carry that much speed. I'm also slapping it off the rev limiter going into the corner. Maybe we'll also pick up that trophy today. There's a trophy in every one of these games for completing and winning a race on a 100% length. But instead of, doing the Daytona 500 for 2.5 hours and 500 miles, you can do a dirt race, which is like 12 laps and 40 miles. So, and it still counts as 100%. Usually to get that trophy, I choose Drebin, or Dreven. I don't still no idea how to pronounce it, but I usually go to that race because I think it's a 25-mile race at 100% length, and it's a super short course, so it's really easy to just get hypnotized into just hitting your marks. and it goes by super quick. Especially since this is a series without tire wear and
Drive safe, be smart, keep your head on straight. Almost ready. Hammer down.
Because a full-length Bristol race, if you turn off tire wear and fuel consumption, which I'm not sure if that's completely possible, I'm sure it is, but if you make it so that you never have to make a pit stop and you run a full-length Bristol race, it is super easy to just get hypnotized into, you know, just making it through the corners. Which I think is actually why it's one of my favorite tracks, because it's so rhythm-based. You can just kind of hit your marks and just zone out. We're just gonna stay out here. Speaking of zoning out,
Hit your mark.
I heard the spotter say that one, telling me to hit my mark. That borderline destroyed the car. That's another thing when you own a team.
Nice work today.
You might see it after this race. You're, depending on how bad you beat up the car during the race, you take the penalty. You don't take a monetary penalty. It's the car just might be too beat up to be ready for the next race. So, I guess we'll see. I didn't explain that last time when it showed up, so. It should show up here when it gives me the breakdown on purse payout and fans gained. Yeah, car wear. So we still got the smooth driving bonus. So smooth driving is the best possible rating you can get. So despite, you know, tanking the wall there, they kind of gave it to us. And that's the most that you can save out of it. Well, apparently I raced the right way. Smash cut to me driving around the wall through turn 4. Let's see if that means that nobody hates me anymore. No, there's still one dirt guy who hates me. I don't have any rivals, but Tanner Gray in the truck series still doesn't like me. Noah Gregson. Yeah, that was a tough deal at Bristol. So it seems they kind of tweaked the ally rival thing for this game, because usually after 1 or 2 seasons in the dirt series, like, you should be best friends with everybody but like maybe 3 or 4 drivers. But it looks like they tweaked it this time. So, I mean, I'm still 4 to the good, which is great. Ooh, we're going to Texas. Texas is a fun track. But it looks like they tweaked it so that you don't really gain as quickly. And it's really easy to make people upset. I mean, you just wreck people. And then people get mad at you. It's real easy. That's why I usually want to qualify towards the front so bad, so that I don't have to run as many people over to get in front. I think a +4 rating should do me good for a little while. So I already have a custom setup, but ooh, that's a huge jump. Yeah, let's see what it does. I'm curious. I haven't run that low of a track bar yet.
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
I want to see how bad it is. Oh, it's real bad. Oh, it's so bad. I almost lost it just shifting into 4th gear. It almost just came around.
Still there. All right, you're clear there.
Yeah, I feathered the throttle a little bit,
now.
and we're
Slow down.
all the way around. Luckily, the pit lane caught us, I guess. Oh, man. That was bad. So, yeah, that's the lowest track bar we can run. Is the 1.3. The 1.1 might work on a track where there's a whole lot more banking. I think that's how I ended up getting a lot better lap times at the super speedways in the last game. I think I dropped a ton of track bar out of it because you really don't need the car as straight as you need to for some of these tracks like this. You kind of just have to, because like tracks like this, you have to pick your angle of attack and just go with it. But at the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega, you can kind of go into the corner and then you can kind of move around because the corner has so much banking and there's so much room, especially at Talladega. Like here, if you want to change lanes in a corner, you don't do it with the steering wheel. You do it with the throttle. Like if I was in the middle of the corner and I realized I was going to run into the back of somebody, you'd be like, oh, hit the brake. No, that wastes time. You don't use brakes. So if you want to go around somebody, you would jump back into the throttle a little early, and that'll push the truck out away from the apex of the corner. Let's say you're running that midline somewhere out there, and you wanted to duck up underneath somebody, you would let out of the throttle a little bit. That way you would come down on the track. But that's the hard way around, for sure, because you got to let out of the throttle to get there. In case you haven't picked up on it, with all these races that I've run, I am awful off of the corner. You're supposed to let the cars drift out towards that outside wall. I am so bad at doing that. I lose so much speed through the straightaways by not doing that. I don't know why I don't let the cars just drift out there farther. Because really all it is just ease up on your steering input. And the car will just kind of float its way out there. Like that time I didn't let it go out there. I kind of steered it towards the wall, which is honestly worse. I'd rather just run. Much rather run just a bad angle off of the corner, too much steering input, rather than trying to steer the car towards the outside wall. Because if you're trying to steer out there, you're gonna mess it up. Yeah, the headset drift was really bad. I was steering almost 90 degrees trying to look the corners off. Another thing with track bar adjustment is you saw me clip off of the banking there a couple of times, and that is a surefire way to immediately get you to bounce off of the track bar. You got to watch out for that, because if you have a loose setup where you're already going off of the track bar in the corner, then you go down and you clip the banking, you're absolutely going to surpass whatever the track bar can hold. You're going around. luckily, this track bar probably needs to be somewhere in between 1.3 and 1.2. But the only adjustments are 1.3 to 1.1. So you don't want to put that into the tune-up. You don't want to account for you clipping banking. You just want to, just drive it, and that won't be a problem. I'm a bad driver, so I've already bounced off of it 4 or 5 times. Don't think I've really left the field behind like I thought I was going to. And it's still 2 seconds.
Leave the line.
But I mean, that's, that's run turn 1 and 2 way too far out, clip the wall, and then, your whole lead is gone. Probably plus some. So I feel like my setup changed. So I'm really tight off of turn 2. But turns 3 and 4, I am totally fine. So I feel like I tightened up there. I must have did. It's got to be timing. That's not a setup problem. That's my timing. Because that time the truck really rotated and went around turn 2 like it's supposed to. So that's got to be a timing thing on my part. Almost lost it because I took the banking. I had to counter steer it.
You'll get the checker flag. It's yours.
But we saved it. Speed rating's probably not as much as I wanted. Probably could have got away with a 100 if I'd cleaned up those banking clips, but we survived, we took a win. And that's what we needed. Not sure what that trophy's for. And I got another momentum boost, I guess. I thought you only got one of those usually. Iowa. Yippee dippy. I'm curious as to what. So I guess if you make like 5 friends, maybe? I don't know. Cool. I'll take the trophy. Iowa. Not a big fan of it. Iowa and Kentucky. Not huge fans of those, because they remind me of just a slower, worse version of Vegas. And I've never liked Vegas either. So hopefully get through this week. Maybe if I really sling it out there on the setup, it'll be a little more fun. Because I believe I ran this race. Ooh, we're back to the 1.1. It's not going to work, but I'm going to do it.
All right, now take your day.
Because this is not a track with enough banking to hold it. But it might be slow enough that it can't overpower the tires. Yeah, no. Still can't do it. Sway bar is what I meant. I've been saying track bar this whole time. Goes to show. That just goes to show how much I really know about setup. I've been changing sway bar this whole time, not track bar. Now, if I was changing track bar along with sway bar, it'd probably help a lot of my problems. But if I was really concerned about it, there's probably YouTube videos for it, because I'm pretty sure the last 3 versions of this game all have the exact same setup physics. So you could pull a setup from NASCAR Heat thing and throw it into a car in this game, and it'll probably still work really good. I mean, all those setup options are the same. They haven't given us any new ones. I know with a lot of the good setups, typically change the most with the spring rate. The spring rate is really where everything goes fast, to put it in my terms. Because, yeah, the shock settings the shocks and the springs are usually where you get your biggest changes. There might be a little bit of difference in the tire settings, but generally these miscellaneous settings are hardly messed with in the tutorial videos. But that's where I make all of my adjustments. So that just shows you how smart I am.
Time to go.
How much you should listen to me. I tell you what, just cranking out the camber and dumping a little bit of sway bar is really easy to remember for every single track. Instead of having to, you know, YouTube a new setup for every single track, for every single series. Just jump in and dump the camber. Pull a little sway bar out of it and see what it does. And then adjust from there. Except I never touch the camber. It's always just laid all the way over. Except at the road courses. I get extra stupid there. Which you'll see, because I think the Truck Series goes to Mid-Ohio. Truck Series either goes to Mid-Ohio or Canadian Tire. So I think they have Road America in this for the Xfinity Series. And it looks like we checked out from the field. Pretty cool. Put up a lot less of a fight this time, now that I'm in a good truck. I'm in a 5-star truck now, so didn't really have to mess with them at all. Looking over on those info screens, they're like on the very far left of my screen. So it really tilts the headset that way. I am just driving these corners. Just god awful. It's kind of crazy. I still have no idea what I'm doing for each corner. I'm kind of just guessing. Because I have the basic rhythms down, but you need brakes for this course, so guess who's not good at that? Guess who's not good at using brakes into the corner? Exhibit A. Whatever I just did. I think the only course where you really need just all out dump the brakes is some of the road courses and Martinsville. Places like even maybe New Hampshire, but like here and like Richmond, you can kind of just drag the brake going into the corner. But, you know, remember, I'm the idiot, so. Listening to me is probably not the best idea. I mean, some of you might be saying, you know, you're running away with it. Why don't you crank the difficulty back up? Well, one difficulty level up from where I'm at is certainly going to make it competitive, but it makes it more realistically competitive to where I would need multiple seasons in some of these series. I would need multiple seasons to kind of work my way up, and since I'm doing this kind of hyphenated career run, this is probably the quickest way to go through it. So I'm gonna have tracks like Iowa and Texas and stuff like that where I kind of just run away, but then there's gonna be like the super speedways, the road courses, you know, Richmond. There's a couple tracks sprinkled in here and there where I'm going to struggle really bad. And that's going to be, it's still going to be a fight for the front. I'm still going to be fighting for podium spots. But it just ensures that I progress. You know, it wouldn't be very entertaining to come back and watch me run, you know, top 20, top 15 every single week. Okay, so we are at a long track. And it is short track next week. I didn't even look at that before I started dumping people. Do I have extra people? No. I only have those 6. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to wait till towards the end of the season to get all of the trophies for having a max car stable and maximum amount of employees and whatnot. So we might not get to that this run. We're about an hour and a half into stream. We'll see how far we go. Because we're only on race like 5 out of 14 in the Dirt Series. That's a pretty good indicator of where we're at in the Truck Series too. After this race, since it's a quick one, where I'm going to take my quick break. Where I'll go get a quick drink and let the dog out and fix my butt cushion. My butt cushion is really dropping the ball today. And I don't like to adjust my sitting position too many times because that totally changes your pedal feel and your range of motion on the stand. to run bad laps and just totally outpower everybody else. Because those were not good laps. Yeah, if I did not have a 100% car, I would have been maybe. I'd probably be around the fifth based on the lines that I was pushing through those corners. Kind of dragged the brake through that one just to get a little extra rotation. Because the car kind of flattened out a little early. See, I only got pole by like 0.006 of a second, but I am checked out. Still running not good corners, but I am going. Don't eat it now. That's what I get. I deserve all of that. All of that. Choked up. I'm gone now. Now my car is probably going to be hurt.
Great teamwork. Nice job. Checker flag yours.
Oh, I'm a dum-dum. Still got a 99 out of it. For some reason I get burnout. Guess we can get one in for today. Because there's no reason for me to do that. I'll do the burnout for like my first like serious win, and then I don't usually do it. Because it's just a waste of time. But if I accidentally hit it, you better believe I'm going to let it fly. Yeah, it looks like it didn't penalize me. Ooh, yeah, it did. Yeah, it dropped me to moderate driving because I plastered the wall. Okay, so Chicagoland. Neat. I'm gonna take a break, go get a quick drink, fix my butt pad, and I should be back in like 5 minutes. Okay, super excited that I didn't come back to a crashed server. Okay, but I do have to make adjustments again because I fluffed up the butt pad and my angle of attack is different now. Should be a little more comfy though, hopefully. Chicagoland. It's a track. I guess it's kind of like it's not Kansas, but it is, but it's not. It's just kind of there, I guess. I'd say Chicagoland and Kansas are very similar, but Chicagoland has the one defining feature of Chicagoland is like this weird, like curved back straightaway that doesn't really affect you, like almost not at all. We'll see how much that does for sway bar. I feel like I could drop a lot more sway bar out of it, but...
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm getting up on the track. You should have had more steam coming after me here.
Stay on the bottom. You're all clear on top there.
Yeah, so far I have no complaints about this sway bar setting. Based on how dark that racing line gets, it makes me think that we're carrying a lot more speed than we're intended to. And I'm not using brakes, so especially through 3 and 4 on that last lap. According to the racing line, we were just cooking. We should not be carrying that much speed, apparently. And what are we running? Right around 32. Where we're kind of hovering. Yeah, we're quick. Pole time was a 32.7. So we're kind of fast. Also, I was thinking about it while I was getting a haterade. On how to kind of split up my days. It might kind of swap back and forth. I think I'm going to stick Gran Turismo on Mondays. Just kind of get started off on something fun. I started talking to my racing line, just went all to hell. Gran Turismo is probably going to stick on Mondays just because that's what I did on Monday, and so I'm just going to stick with it. The question is Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So Saturday I kind of want to try new things, especially this Saturday. Saturday's going forward, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm definitely going to run this out for the week, but I don't think that's how it's going to go going forward. I think going forward, my bread and butter is Gran Turismo, this game, and F1. I think, okay, now that I'm thinking it through, I kind of want to get to Season 2 of F1 before I start streaming that game. Because when I'm racing in F1, I feel like I'm not going to be talking anymore. Because I really try hard on F1. And I'm still in the first season of that game, so it's still kind of a struggle for me to compete. And I feel like if I'm competing really hard, then the stream kind of takes a dive because I just won't be talking. So as of right now, I might extend Gran Turismo. Might do the first half. Might be first half of the week's Gran Turismo. Second half is NASCAR, and then Saturdays will still be kind of the test stream. And then just in my off time, sorry, I was listening for. I thought my racing wheel was starting to squeak with the force feedback. That's a bad thing. Anyways, I think in my off time I'll go ahead and try and progress through the first season of F1. And then once I get into the second season, comfortably get into the second season, like first race weekend of Season 2 on F1. I feel like that's where I can start streaming that game. Maybe second race season. I'll probably do the first race season and just kind of see where I stack up. See if things are still... Because that's a game where I change the difficulty. Like if I had a race like this in F1, I would probably crank the difficulty up by... Because F1 does a sliding scale. F1 lets you choose a percentage between 0 and 100. 100 being full-blown, flat-out, you're an esports driver. But they let you do a sliding scale, unlike in this game where it's easy, medium, hard, and they're all very different. So like if I had a race like this in F1, I would probably crank up the difficulty by like 6 points and then see what happened there. Right now I have it set pretty competitively where it's a close race guaranteed every week. Guaranteed close race. If I'm winning, then second place is all over the back of me. But it's like not a super big, it's not like a crazy struggle to get a podium. There's been times where if I miss the setup, I have to hope for a top 5 in the F1 game if I miss the setup. But if I get the setup right and I'm prepared for the Grand Prix, then podium is usually a good place for me. And if I win, then it's going to be hard fought. So that's usually where I stick the difficulty on F1. So and in career mode, it's a lot more in-depth with your car performance. It's not just like the simple 90 to 100% like it is in this game. There's very specific parts that you have to get. So depending on how much I keep up with the other teams in the off season in the F1 game is going to determine how easy that is. So I'll probably run one race in the off time, jump back in race 2, because you probably won't miss a lot. I mean, season opener is Australia. I might actually... Fucking Pocono. Damn it. 4 races till the playoffs. We could definitely get to the playoffs. We might actually get halfway through the playoffs. We're only at an hour 45. Screw you, Pocono. But, I might actually stream that first race. Depending on how comfortable I am at the end of this season. I think I have 3 or 4 more races left for this season in that F1 game. So, and those race weekends last a lot longer because I take every practice session and I do at least a lap for every practice session in the F1 game. So those games are, you know, in a 2-hour session, I'll probably get through maybe 2 or 3 races. I mean, this game, I'm almost at 2 hours, and I think we've gotten through 7 or 8. So, also dump the sway bar and try and get a little more turn in this race because tire wear is a non-issue. We run 2 laps here in the truck series, so tire wear should not be a problem. Technically, whatever tire wear I stack up now is going to be pretty similar to the race.
You're all clear up top.
Turn 1 is sketchy. Tried to drag the brake, but the car that I just went by is one of the front runners, so it looks like I was able to keep him behind. I think if I qualify well, we have a shot at taking home the Pocono Trophy. I do want to run down into turn 1 more time, just to kind of get a feel for what I need. I hit my goal time, so that's a huge deal. So yeah, I'm still about 10 miles an hour off where I need to be for that first corner, but
Let's go.
we're going to have to run a good lap. Also, if I do not qualify out front, probably going to have to watch myself going through turn 1. Because both times that I went through turn 1 and I dragged the brake, it immediately sent me around loose. Because I had the car set up loose. It's the only reason I'm running good lap times right now. I did not turn into this corner like I needed to. Maybe we'll get a little more run down the straightaway from it. I'm going to try it again, but I think I'm going to be fighting a loose condition with getting on the brakes for this corner. I mean, that was minimal brakes. That felt like about the best I could do through that first corner, but it immediately shot me, you know, a lane and a half out. So if there's a truck out there, things are going to get dicey. So I'm going to have to watch myself. if I don't qualify out front, and I don't have a clear outside in that first corner. It's really frustrating when I screw up turn 3, because turn 3 is really where it's easy to stick the car in and let it go. I missed my goal time. So 8th. Tough. Real tough. That puts me on the outside, which technically means there's no trucks on the outside of me.
Alright, now be smart out there. Going
But
ready. Hammer down, green down.
still not ideal.
Clear road.
I might be able to just latch on. Oh, we're gonna do it.
Stay low, stay low. Inside, clear all around.
So I was able to use freezing a little bit. I kind of doored freezing, but one thing I forgot is that you don't carry as much speed going into turn 1 on that first lap. So it's a lot safer. Now that I have everybody cleared for this second lap, when we're full tilt down the front straightaway, as long as nobody pulls up next to me, down the front stretch, I have free reign turn 1. Also, that is worst case scenario in turn 3. I did it in qualifying and I just did it. Is getting into turn 3 and you have this false sense of hope where you can jump back on the throttle. And then once that corner starts to tighten back up again, oh, I clipped the banking too. I'm surprised they didn't downshift on me. They're going to make a huge run down the straightaway though. I just got to make the truck three lanes wide. They didn't make an attack. Anyways, turn 3, the worst thing you can do is to jump into the corner and then jump back on the throttle, because in the middle of the corner it feels like you're really getting the grip, but you jump back into the throttle too early and you don't have the right angle, and it'll just shoot you out towards the wall and you have to lift again. Lifting for that second time in turn 3 is devastating, because you lose all your momentum going down the front stretch. Wow, 93. That's super not good. But we won, so no complaints. So far, my new butt pad is performing. So, bonus. Things are going right today. And I'm happy about it. After the trash fire that was yesterday. I have to wake up early in the morning, but that's irrelevant. Hopefully I don't lose, since I have to wake up early tomorrow, so hopefully I won't lose steam by the time I have to stream. If not, that's what I got those little energy things for. Road courses next week. So we start staffing up for that. Yep, we got 2 long tracks in a row. So Fanatec and Richmond back to back, I'm going to need 2 long track cars. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out now. And then car 6 will be something we add on at the end. I don't think I need an extra set of employees for that. I have the room for it, but I don't think I need it. I think we'll be okay. Worst comes to worst, we're going to have a 94% car, which will do absolutely fine in the Dirt Series. So, chillin'. Since I'm having such a positive stream, I'm going to bring it down one notch. I planned on streaming the Tony Hawk remake, but I just received a notification because I pre-ordered one of the special editions. I received a notification that I will not be getting it on time. So, you know, the 1 or 2 to 3 days where everybody's going to be playing that game, I won't have it. Even though I paid extra money to have the cool shit, I won't have it. Hopefully, it's not just Amazon took too many orders and there's going to be no... They're going to be like, oh, it's on back order for, you know, until we land on Mars. Then you'll get it. That type of stuff. Because that was... Because the edition that I got is a pre-order only, and it's a special edition, which they only have a certain amount of, which I got my order in for. So that might be something that I actually kind of go back and forth on. That might be something that I actually dial a phone number and talk to another human, which is full-blown crazy for me, but...
Alright, driver, dig.
I got the collector's edition, which the only reason I got that edition was because, A, I had the money for it at the time when I pre-ordered it,
Make it count here.
and B, it comes with a life-size skateboard signed by Tony Hawk with the birdhouse design from the original. And it was very fairly priced for what that is. So, you know, they can only make so many skateboards, and they can only make Tony Hawk sign so many of those skateboards.
Alright, man. You're coming to the green. Be ready.
So hopefully Amazon didn't take on, you know, 1,200 orders. Then, you know, Activision only planned on shipping 1,000 of those. I doubt the supply's even that much. You know, they probably only plan on doing 200 of those, and hopefully Amazon didn't take on, you know, 208 of those orders. But I kept checking after I ordered it, because I specifically remember, I was like, did I pick up like one of the last ones of these? And right after I ordered it, I kept checking, and that listing was up for like a day and a half, maybe 2 days after I ordered it. So, and I never saw the notification of like, you know, low in stock. It was just, it was there, and then one time I checked it, and it was like, yeah, this is not available anymore. So,
great job, driver. Checker flag is in the air. It's yours.
also the notification that Amazon gave me was like, yeah, this thing is delayed. And I'm like, does that mean the whole game is delayed? And I never saw anything about the whole game being delayed, so as of now, the release date is still the same, to my knowledge. All right. That was my one downer for such a positive stream so far. I explained my little sob story while I, took a win. Kentucky. Remember those tracks that I listed off that I didn't really care for? Kentucky. Kentucky's like the middle ground for between Iowa and Vegas. It's like Iowa's Bulbasaur, Kentucky's Ivysaur, and then Vegas is Venusaur. They all suck. I hope there's no Bulbasaur stands that are going to watch this. They are few and far between, but boy, are they vocal. I'm a Squirtle man, so if you want to flame me in the comments, go for that. You can try. But Squirtle has his own squad, so... roast me at your own risk.
Okay, get back in there. Let's go.
Yeah, Kentucky's more like, this is more of a miniature version of Kansas. Because a lot of it feels the same. The visuals are almost pretty much the same. It's just a miniature version of it. You know, you have this long, banked tri-oval. I've always hated those two parts about Kentucky. The part of the tri-oval that somebody got drunk painting the line, and then that part. So in turn 1 and 2, that yellow line is painted underneath where the actual transition, it's painted correctly in turns 3 and 4. But in 1 and 2, it is painted underneath where the actual transition happens. So if you're trying to spot where you're going off into the corner on that yellow stripe, you're going to slam into the banking transition. And you might think, oh, well, that's not all bad, you know, just find the seam. Because there's a seam that indicates the banking transition as well. And you just look for the first seam above that yellow painted mark. Cool. Because like over here, you can see the seam, regardless of what drunken fool painted that yellow line. So you can see that first seam. But when you roll off of the corner, if you roll off too soon, down on the inside of turn 2, way down there towards where you're supposed to rejoin traffic coming out of the pits, it's like a little hump. So I'm going to drive over it on this lap because I'm done with practice. But right around this whole area down here is way more flatter than the entire banking of the corner. It's almost like that part just got chopped when they paved the track. So if you run super far down inside, like you're fighting for position,
time to go,
and you want to undercut somebody headed out into the straightaway, you are going to lose all traction, plus the steering wheel is going to come off. You're going to snap around so hard down there on this little transition down there. The car just snaps. So it's almost like an extension. It's almost like an extension of the apron. Like you just do not want to be there under any circumstance. But I'm also somebody who doesn't like Kentucky, so of course I'm going to find as many things wrong with it as possible. I'm sure there's things wrong with Kansas Speedway. I don't necessarily hate Kansas. Wow, this is just the worst corner. That was terrible. I'm sure there's things wrong with Kansas Speedway. I just don't really mind it all that much. So I don't really find anything wrong with it. Alright. So it looks like we are cruising in the Truck Series.
Be ready here.
I think that second momentum boost was an actual momentum boost, so I think it's stacked.
One up top. All right, you're clear there.
So it looks like, to me, next season, when I own a Truck Series team, that I kind of just need to mitigate the issues until I get that second momentum boost. It's really hard to not get that momentum boost because they give it to you for like a top 15 finish. So like if you finish in the top 15 3 times, you get a momentum boost. So I don't know if the second momentum boost is a little more, scrutinous, but I should be pulling down top 10s, especially after that first momentum jump. So if it scrutinizes me down to top 10s, then I should still be able to get that second momentum jump. And hopefully, I have my team under me by that second momentum jump. That way I can just start taking races, even if my team's not as good as it should be. Because I won't be able to afford it. It's not going to be as easy as the Dirt Series. That was all before. I had to let out the throttle a lot because I flipped the banking again. I am just poor through 3 and 4. I'm just not doing what I need to. But we have a lead, so who cares? 90% tire, don't gotta worry about it. Just let it fly, and I put the banking again. I'm doing my best to crash. Well, I thought I let out way too early for 3 and 4, but then I got a frame skip on the entry to 3 and 4, so it's a good thing I let out early. Otherwise, I probably would have been up in the fence.
All right, 2 more good laps for you.
I am glad that the frame skips are few and far between in this game compared to the last edition, but I'm also on different consoles compared to the last game. I had NASCAR Heat 4 on Xbox, and the frame skips were pretty bad. I have this one on PlayStation. The frame skips are still there, but they don't happen at all. I don't know if that's because, Heat 4 versus Heat 5, or if it's because I'm playing this on PlayStation. I'm also on a PlayStation Pro. And my Xbox is just the base model Xbox One. Because I got it as a bundle. I think the Xbox One S came out a few months after I got my bundled Xbox.
Good driver.
Yeah.
Way to earn that checker flag.
Got through that one. 98, eh. Where are we at? 2 hours. Just passed. Man, I've also had this dumb kink in my neck for the past couple days, and I really hope it's not from this little neck rest that I have. I guess we made $1 million. Cool. Apparently I have many friends in the garage. I have not been getting these, those tweets so often, so maybe they nerfed that. Oh, we got a 3-race week. Cool. Including the road course. So I'm curious. No, the dirt guy still hates me. We're neutral in the trucks, but we haven't run any Busch Series or Xfinity Series, so they still hate me. We're going to have a 94 going to the road course, so I don't think we're going to get any advantages there. I think, you know what, let's get some more employees so I can start just toasting people. So we need suspension. And we need aero. So that's $6,000. That's $700. He costs $20. So he's $6,000 for almost a full. I'm gonna hire the cheap guy and see how much it costs, because I've just not cared so far. $20,000. Maybe the $6,000 guy was worth it. Shit. So I'm gonna go for the one with the more training this time. It's still $20,000. So I got hosed. No real reason to pull that extra person yet, so I'm gonna wait. What did I just spend? Almost, what was that? Almost $60,000. So buying a car on top of what I just did is gonna be 62 plus 18. Probably gonna be around $85,000 to buy another car, max out another set of employees. So I'm gonna get to $785,000 or the last race. So we'll see how that goes. Changing my position again, and that's gonna be, it's gonna change all my stuff again. Going for a more upright position, or I could be more upright and then the lever on this cheap ass gaming chair is scary. At some point, the sponsor bonus just becomes totally useless, because I think I'm getting like $200 for doing this, but for some reason I still do it. I guess it helps to kind of get reacclimated to the track, like this place, before qualifying. But those other tracks like Texas and Charlotte, where I know I can drive them, I guess I haven't really been checking how much the sponsor bonus is. It might not be worth my time sometimes. I guess this is the only place where the trade-off would be bad, because it takes like a minute and a half to do it. At like Charlotte and Texas and those other tracks, it's like 15 seconds and you get the sponsor bonus. So so I also have no idea if me cruising around the track is me being slow, because I am not catching up to those guys, so. I am driving much better though. My driving compared to last season at this track is definitely gooder. $113.5. Yeah, it's $250 to do that. Ooh, pole is like a second ahead.
Let's go now.
What the hell? Pole ripped off a 112.2, apparently. What? I'm so confused. Because my goal time is pretty close to what I ran in practice. The 113.5. Good thing that wasn't the lap, because that was really bad. That was super slow. There must be a lot of these corners where I'm hitting the brakes where I don't need to, like the last one. Not this one. That one I definitely need more brakes. And that chicane's pretty sketchy to go through at full throttle, but it's possible. It was a very slow start. Yeah, immediately started. Not good. I think I improved today, since I kind of treat that all as one corner. That is immediately bad. I ran over the berm. That is huge time loss. So let's cut the course there. Even though I'm pretty sure the grass is super slow. I just dead stopped. Okay, so all that shit talk I did is catching up. And I'm not going to restart qualifying. Because there's technically an exploit where you can restart qualifying. Nope, I'm doing it. I hit too many walls. That just means I'm going to have to run like 4 laps of this damn place. Because they're starting next to the damn start-finish line for this. Yep. Hold on. I shouldn't have adjusted my racing position. Shouldn't have done it. I was trying to reset the damn screen. See, Gran Turismo had VR in mind. Because when you hit the options button, it doesn't unpause. But this game and F1 both unpause when you hit the options button. So if you're doing that to recenter the VR headset, it just throws you into the race. So if you weren't trying to adjust anything, because you're immediately racing. So it looks like I can full throttle through that last corner. But I think in order to get around the corner like that, I have to hit the brakes to dig the splitter in, like here. And then once the splitter is done digging in, then I can get going. Then I can really prepare for the corner. I didn't treat that as one single corner. I treated it as two individuals, so I screwed up the second one. Absolutely overran that corner. The extra braking hurt. So far, we're not a total disaster. See, I see that. I'm just not going to be... This game does not let me be positive at all. It's like, oh, something good happened for you? No. You're going to cake the wall. Only happens in the damn dirt series. Karma hasn't bit me a single time in the truck series. 11. 115. Yippee. I'm going to go out here and do one lap, and I'm going to run a 116 and run the fastest lap out of everybody.
Keep your head on straight. Be ready. Ready.
Because the balancing in this game is good. Holy shit.
Left side.
Yep.
You got it.
Cool.
You're clear.
And I'm gone. I have zero patience now. My patience is gone.
Almost ready now. Green's out, man.
Immediate resets.
Left side. All right. You're clear there. Right side's clear.
Now I gotta race this fucking place again in the playoffs.
Left side. All clear.
I don't care that I blasted that person off the truck.
Left side's clear. Left side. All right.
Although pissing people off seems to be way easier in this game.
All right. You're clear there.
I'm not doing myself any favors, but I think I can still run this kid down. Never mind. Reset. Fuck!
Coming to the green, driver.
I'm trying not to full-blown yell because I got the microphone right next to me. That probably already made your ears bleed. But
Left side clear.
damn it if this isn't frustrating.
All right, you're clear there. Right side. Right side. Right side's clear. Left side. Left side's clear. Right side.
Yep, just downshift. Fuck it.
You got room. You're clear.
Downshift again. Fuck it. Pitched in too early. I was going to hit the wall again, so I had to correct, and it did me no favors. Not good through there.
Clear left. Left side. All clear. Good driver. Way to earn that checker flag.
Thank God. I almost punted him through that chicane. I should have checked the lap times. 1:14.0. The top qualify was a 1:12.5. And you can't tell me that the 15-mile-an-hour difference coming off of that final corner makes any difference in a dirt car. Oh, good thing it's a three race week. Get that terrible dirt race out of my mind. Moderate driving, I'll take it. I don't care. I have an army of employees. Where are we going? Eldora. Remember when I said to get that dirt race out of my mind? Yeah, it's a dirt race. And I think I'm going to set the truck up like a dirt car. Just tilt it to the loose and let it go. Because I think if I did the camber and the sway bar and all that, I would totally toast it. I'm going to go 2 clicks to the loose, see what it does. Probably way too loose. Glad everybody's already being respectful. So the brake tap thing that works in the dirt cars doesn't work in the trucks. I feel like the way this cars are set up right now, I might be able to full throttle all the way through. That was a lot. But that downshift is really annoying, because that downshift is not necessary. Yep, I can full throttle it. I just figured it out. If I square the corner off like I do in the dirt series, you just mash the throttle and steer. Cool. We're running 19s. We're gonna kill everybody.
Let's go.
So in the trucks on the dirt course, it's a lot more important to get out towards the wall on the straightaway. And even more important, to try and chop the corner off, like in the dirt car. Honestly, my dirt car could probably blaze around.
All right, that's it.
Please tell me pole was 20.6. It wasn't. It was like 20.3, but still. We just racked off a 19.6.
Are you ready? Ready? Hammer down.
I'm just not even gonna have my foot near the brake.
You got room. You're clear.
If I need to slow down, I'll just steer harder. Let that run too far. Should have gone into the corner quicker.
About to go. This time by.
Now start cutting down the angle of attack. On the positive side, this is much less creep than the dirty dirt. We're back to positive. Positive streaming. This is the redemption for yesterday. Can't be all whiny because you tanked the wall.
Clear low.
None of that. Did it just say clear low? you smoking, cuz? Is it because I whipped by the pace car? That'd be fun. If I could just initiate it to give me spotting advice if I go by the pace car. Buddy, you're having a day. Sorry about it. You won't be the only car lap down, I promise. I'll get these guys too. I'll typically do that if I'm like an insane... Yep. It looks like the pace car initiates the clear low on the spotter. But what I was going to say is that normally is if I have a huge lead like that and it looks like I'm not going to lap a whole lot of cars, I'll just kind of cruise behind that lap car. That way they don't go lap down. I mean, it's what I would want. So 102. First 102. We were blazing. Let's see if we get a call for the Xfinity Series. Make it a good one. I'm excited. Even though my back hurts. I need to just take this stupid back support. I'm gonna get to the next loading screen. I'm gonna take this back support out. Another top 20. Iowa. Shit. Alright, I'm gonna take this back support out real quick. Oh, that's a lot of room. That's weird. Okay. Put this back on. Honestly, it's probably better for my back because it was pushing me. And normally I have that problem anyway. But, this is going to be much nicer for driving position at least. I'll just have to keep an eye on. Oh, we're driving Sieg's car. Or at least I believe that's what that is. I believe we're driving for Sieg. I think I'll run out the rest of the stream without this back support in and see if my back actually starts to hurt. Because it's pushing the bottom part of my back out, which I have a problem with doing that anyway with my posture. So I actually need to be pushing that towards the seat, so it's like the opposite of what I need. But we'll see if this is better for both comfort and driving. Right now it feels much more spacious. Much more spacious for driving.
Alright now, dig.
Although for some reason it makes me want to slam my back into the back of the chair and tilt myself backwards. So it kind of slams my thighs together because the pedals are close. Okay, more brake is needed and faster cars at Iowa. Maybe. And I have the sway bar on the 1.3 setting. So the next setting would be 1.1. Okay, we hit our goal lap time. But I feel like we're about to rip off a really good lap. Well, it would have been a really good lap. Is that Timmy? God damn it, Timmy. You killed my lap, Timmy. Son of a bitch.
You got room. You're clear.
This one still feels pretty solid. I really hope AI doesn't get upset with me with what happens in practice. It seems like they really balanced that system out. 24.5 is a really good lap. So we're going to run between 24.5 and 24.8. Okay, so we're not getting pole. But we will beat the goal by a good ways. I feel like I could rip off better than a 24.5, but not by a whole lot. You know, I don't think I'm going to show up to the race and just break hearts. Iowa's one of those tracks where the front-running cars are going to escape.
Here we go.
I think I'm going to go for, well, disqualifying this thing. Not really. I'm going to go for another top 10, like Texas or Charlotte, or whatever the hell the other hot seat car was. 3 and 4 felt very good. 3 and 4 was much better.
All right, that's our
24.6. 10. Top 10. Cool. So now I want to shoot for top 8. Oh, are we going to start next to Gregson?
All right, be smart out there. Going green.
Figured out a way how to look around, I would do it.
Green's out now. Let's go.
Ooh, I would like to. Yeah, I think we're starting next to Noah. Let's hope he doesn't just run us off in the corner.
Inside.
I want to get away from him as quickly as possible because that's 2 JR Motorsports cars ahead of me, probably 3.
Got one peeking inside.
With the 8 car down there. So I want to get away from Noah and the rest of JR Motorsports before they kill me.
Careful.
Let me just run into them. Let them know. God. I was like, I want to get away from them because they're going to hurt me, and then I run into the side of the fucking car. Oh, and then, hey, Noah.
Careful. Still there.
Long time no see. Okay, bye. I really don't want to be next to him. Go, Mr. Jones. Brendan Jones, please.
Top 3, use it if you need it. Put it all around there. Got one peeking inside.
Woo! We got real loose off of that corner. We are just winging it right now. I'm going for a top 5. I know I can beat Brandon Jones for sure. It's just whether I can get through the net. And it looks like me and Gregson kind of have this similar car. So he's got a good advantage on me now, and I really don't want to piss him off.
Careful, go back.
So hopefully he sees my racing from today. Looks nice and clean. We still got 6 laps.
Car there on the inside.
I am fighting a loose condition, and Brandon Jones taking his nose in there was the bad idea. That was the big gun.
Still there.
Now he's just being annoying. I'm not really losing a whole lot of tires.
5 laps to go.
I was hoping I'd kind of send him in that corner, but... Okay, we're fighting for top 5.
Got one peeking
All of a
inside.
sudden, these guys decided to find their speed.
Still there. Got one peeking inside.
And I decided to forget
You got room. You're clear there.
how to corner entry. Okay, interesting. Just run all the way out there. For some reason, everybody's just bombing the entry of the corner. Why is everybody so good at corner entry all of a sudden?
Careful. Still there. All clear.
I'm keeping up with the car ahead of me on corner entry, but the people behind me just reel me in on corner entry.
Stay low. Stay low.
Also, the wheels are doing that really weird dancing around thing.
Still there.
That's new for this.
Keep it going.
Because that's not a thing I've ever seen in these games. So the thing where it looks like the wheels are kind of just independently bouncing around in the wheel well, that's not normal. Alright, we kept it off the wall, but we were still super slow. Hopefully we can hold 4th place. Not that way. Not that way either. Almost ate shit. JR Motorsports behind me. Hopefully Noah doesn't hate me. 4th place. Top 5. Awesome. With a 95 rating. So hopefully Noah forgave me a little bit, because I don't think I really tore him up. I'm interested to see if he still hates me or not after that, because we raced next to each other for the first few laps. I think that's what gains you favor, is the cars that you race around, whether you race nicely or not. But what do I know? I still have no fucking clue how to make friends, obviously. Truck Series, where are we at? 1 till the playoffs. So well, we pissed off Brandon Jones and the 8 car. But Noah Gragson is like 1 tick less mad. Oh man, the Xfinity Series is gonna hate me when I get there. So this is the final race until the playoffs for the Truck Series. So it looks like I almost predicted it on the dot. We're 240 in, and we're gonna get to the playoffs. Hopefully there's a dirt series race after this, so we can get to the playoffs there as well. But I have a feeling we're gonna have to get into the trucks playoffs before the cutoff on the dirt playoffs, because those are pretty late. I didn't pay attention after the road course race as to how many I had left, so I do like Michigan though. I'm really excited for I really hope in the future that Michigan can turn into you know, like the real life NASCAR series that race at Michigan. I'm really hoping that they create a package that Michigan basically becomes a mini super speedway. Everybody just runs flat out all the way around, and it just becomes just a mini super speedway, kind of like how the Indy cars run. The Indy cars have the downforce and the power to make it interesting, but sometimes with the Indy cars it basically becomes a fuel race. It becomes a strategy race. But I mean, you don't know until you try. I'd be super interested to see. Hopefully the next gen car Looks like the next gen car looks like it has a ton of downforce on it. Looks almost like a GT car, so hopefully that'll be the bridge. That'll be the next jump that we need to make Michigan the fun track. Not be this weird kind of super fast but not super fast kind of thing. I feel like I'm getting ready to toss my boys. Need to chill out, first of all. Second of all, it's a good thing we might almost be done. Cool, I'll take it. How's that, 40.8? I don't want to run too many practice laps.
Let's go now.
Especially if we're tracking, 3/10 ahead of pole time. Boys, it can be frustrating next season. Going from such a good truck to pretty much podunk nothing. That last qualifying session is probably what it would be like if I streamed F1. Just me talking shit on myself and it's very few and far between. I feel like my commentary is the only thing that keeps gameplay unique. Not that I'm unique or special in any way, it's just that, somebody wanted to watch somebody else drive poorly in a NASCAR game or an F1 game, they'd hand their little cousin a controller and tell him to go fucking nuts. So why would they tune into my stream to watch that? Because I can act smart and drive stupid. I'm that guy. Well, that was just plain lazy. I'm surprised Stuart Friesen is set as one of the top contenders in this game. As high as he is, because I know this season in the Truck Series is not indicative of that for sure. Which sucks, because I would say Stewart's my guy in the Truck Series, but I think this game is a bit behind. Despite them giving, I don't think they do any balancing updates to this game, they just throw in their paint schemes and make you pay $30 for it. Guessing that's why John Hunter Nemechek is still in the Truck Series as well. I wonder if they put Haley Deegan in the Truck Series like they did. Because I think the last game they put Haley Deegan in the Truck Series, even though she's just now getting the ARCA. I know Decker is in the Truck Series. But I don't remember if they moved Decker up into the Xfinity Series. And I don't know if she still runs ARCA either. So
Good driver.
shows how much I know, I guess.
Flag.
Oh boy. We are kind of winded down. So I typically put on the, I think I've kind of figured out how the schedule works on Twitch. I'm just going to kind of leave it blank, I think. And what I've been doing is I typically shoot for 3 hours on the schedule. Because usually 2.5 hours is what makes sense for me to stream. If it's a bad stream like yesterday, just cut it at 2 hours and call it good. I think 2.5 is right around normal for these driving games before I start to get a little worn out. But just in case, you know, things go super well and I want to push it to 3 hours, like today, then I want people to be open for that. JR Motorsports is giving me a contract with when 2 of their drivers just hate me. Cool. That's funny. But, 2 dirt back to back. Yeah, and that'll send me to the playoffs. Okay. I like this deal. We'll do that, and then at the next dirt race is when I'll buy that extra car. Then what's next? Short track? I'll buy the extra car at the next race just because. Actually, I am going to jump to the main menu quick to check the trophies, so it might cut the stream, but you should still be able to hear me. Yeah, okay, it says only audio is being broadcast. I'm checking the trophies right now for the NASCAR game. Win a shit ton of races. Win the long races. Win at every track. Win a split screen. Complete a bunch of seasons. That must have been why I got a ton of trophies last time. Because I basically completed a series. I gotta make 3 rivals. That's gonna be annoying. Maybe I should do that in the dirt series. Well, there's not a lot left in the dirt series. Not gonna do 10 seasons. Make it to the playoffs. Be on a team. Own 6 cars and hire 12 employees. Yeah. So I just need to have 6 cars and max employees. I don't have to upgrade them or nothing. Cool. Okay, I should have picture back on now. I do enjoy that PlayStation does that. That just in case there's some type of sensitive information that can be pulled from just your main menu. they just go ahead and protect you and cut the stream. I haven't streamed from Xbox One, but that's the other console that I know you can just stream straight from the console. I'm curious if it lets you choose quality or not. That will not be something that I'm testing Saturday. Kind of leaving it as a surprise, kind of an up in the air type deal for Saturday. It's just something
Time to go.
I figured I wanted to play, so I figured I might as well kind of try and frontier that into happening on Saturday. If anything, it'll give me a little more experience as to what I'm doing. You know, normally that should be saved for Sunday. Because I did a test stream the Sunday before I went into full schedule, but I feel like Saturday is a good long chunk of time where I can kind of test things, and if things don't work, then I can just go to the bread and butter. You know, I can just, you know, I'm pretty confident I can at least get audio to work, so that if anybody is in the stream, then I'll just be like, hey, give me a certain amount of time and then jump back on, which never works, because, you know, I did that yesterday, trying to fix the problem, so everybody checked out for sure, once I had tech issues, so I might be talking to a wall on Saturday, so to speak, but at least I'll learn something. If I ever go crazy, they're gonna pull that clip. Be like, this guy's talking about. He's gonna talk to walls and learn shit from them. No wonder.
White flag, good driver.
Wow, that was borderline catastrophic.
Great job, driver. Checker flag's in the
I was
air,
just
it's
hoping
yours.
that the car would rotate if I just jumped into the throttle, and it never did. Good thing that track is Good thing that track is as big as it is. Otherwise, that would have gone poorly. Ah, I forgot. That's the track where I need to rip off an 18. Dang it. I think I get another shot at it, but I think 1906 is pretty solid. Oh, I moved in the chair. Uh-oh. I wasn't thinking. Now I'm gonna have to get all situated for the next race. Okay. Richmond. Okay, buy another car. Short track, sure, who cares? Get more people. Get the cheap ones. $20. $20. $20. Give me the trophy. Yeah. We did it. And just because I'm tired of seeing the needs repair sign, I'm going to throw them on to do something. I hired them. Might as well make them do something. I'm pretty sure that car, the very first car, the short track car, has not been touched since the very first race of the season. Because I bought a second short track car that I was just hammering because it was the better car. Oh, yeah, after this race we're going to reach 3 hours, so I think we're going to make playoffs and then chop it there. And then we're going to make a playoff run next time we visit NASCAR Heat. We'll make our playoff run, hopefully sweep some championships. And then start up a new team. Hopefully we'll have enough capital to get a truck team. I think the only time capital gets really tight for starting a team is going to the Cup Series, trying to start your own Cup team. I know the Xfinity grind is a little nasty, but it's... Alright, that's a good start. Great. I know it's a little nasty, but it's... What? What? It counted that as a lap. Oh no. Hold on.
All right,
Is that set as... Okay, that's not the record. Okay. Woo! So it still gave me my sponsor bonus and everything. And all of that happened. And I hit the wrong button to continue past practice. So now I'm just going into Richmond blind, but I have a 100% car. I should not be down there. But I could totally screw this up. I have a 100% car. So I used way too much brake in that corner. Bad because I rotated the clutch twice. 22.3. 22.8. My record's like 21 something. So I can do better. But I'm still gonna tan some asses.
Let's go. Got one peeking outside. You're all clear up top there.
I am glad I'm racking up a bunch of trophies in this game because I want my trophy level to go up for sure. I'm really happy with my gamer score so far. I'm definitely going to stream when I hit my next gamer score. My next gamer score milestone. Hopefully get that on stream. But I jumped into PlayStation. I just jumped into the trophy system last year. Whenever Spider-Man came out, that was the first game that I jumped into the trophy system on. I didn't have a PlayStation 3, so I was not in the trophy system. But I've been in the gamer score for, as long as the 360's been out. But I lost my first account. I had about 18,000 gamer score on my first account, and that kind of got lost. So, because I was a dumb kid and passcode locked it all down, and then I forgot what all of that stuff was, so I just had to make a new one. But I know there was a lot of crossover because I was really upset that I lost that gamer score. So there's probably about 5,000 gamer score sitting there that I never got because I never remembered what games, it was like Xbox Arcade, or I never remembered what games I got the achievements in. So Or like games that I borrowed or something. Or games that, I got the achievements and then, traded it in or something dumb. So, live and learn. I'm still top 150 in the state. Or no, I'm top 200 in the state. I'm chasing 150. Oh boy. Canadian Tire's coming up. Good thing it's not the race that I'm leaving on. But cool. I'm debating. You know what? While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and do the 100% race achievement. Because I can. Quick race settings. 100%. Normal. Save and continue. Ooh, that's 100 laps. Never mind. Never mind. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that today. I thought that was a lot less. I thought that was like 40 laps, maybe. Okay. So, just going to have to keep that in mind for some other time. 100 laps goes by quick in that situation, but yeah, not going to do that tonight. Should be back around tomorrow. I believe I have the start time set for 2 o'clock, but that can move around. I'm going to put out I'll put out the usual notifications on my social medias to alert everybody when I'm live. Yeah, let me check my stats. 43 wins out of 50 races, 49 top 10s. We got one not top 10. Tough. But yeah, should be streaming tomorrow afternoon. It'll probably be longer than usual. Not sure if I'm going to jump around. I think I have it scheduled for 4 hours. We'll see if I jump around on what I'm doing. Hopefully, I think that'll be the first time where since I'm not streaming from a console, the console isn't going to send the stream info to Twitch. So I think I'm going to have to custom edit my Twitch readouts so that everything reads correctly. And I don't end up in just chatting or something stupid while I'm playing the secret special game. That sounded creepy. It's going to be stupid. I'm playing up some game that I haven't announced, and it's going to be dumb. But it's kind of a throwback to something I did on my YouTube channel. So it's been something that I've always wanted to come back to. There's multiple things I did on my YouTube channel that I always wanted to come back to. But yeah, I think that's going to be all for tonight. That also is going to end my several minute long ramble at the end of all of my streams, because I always do that, because I'm a freaking weirdo and I don't know when to shut up. Okay. I don't want to end the stream on such a harsh, nasty shut up. Yeah, just keep an eye out on my social medias for tomorrow. If somehow you don't have my social medias, hit me up for them. I'll let you know. Either through, I know Twitch has a messaging system, YouTube has a messaging system. If possible, I think my messages are open on Twitter for both my personal and my online handle. So just send a message to either one of those if you don't have my social medias, or, I'll start sending out multiple on different social medias so that everybody gets covered. But yeah, just look out for those tomorrow. All right, I'm actually getting off this time. Bye.